Oh, I didn't think I was gonna have to make this video, but there were just too many last minute leaks and rumors about the Apple September 9th event. And I gotta be honest, you can call me an Apple shill, you can say I'm paid by Apple, those aren't true. You can insult me any way you want, just don't insult the hair, okay? Just don't insult the hair. I'm actually excited for this Apple event with all these latest leaks and rumors. That's just the energy, I think before, a lot of people are going, oh, it's pretty boring, not that many updates, what's Apple doing? But going into this event now, after reading the latest leaks and rumors, all new stuff here, I'm really excited. So I want to tell you about it in this video. And you know what? They say you should, some people like to get the good news first and some people like to get the bad news first. Well, I'm going to give you the bad news first because we may be getting our first price increase ever on the iPhone 16 Pro. And now we have new reports coming out saying that yes, the starting storage on the 16 Pro is going to get raised to 256 gigabytes. And I think that means the starting price is technically going up to $1,099. So a $100 price jump from the, $1,000 price point that the iPhone 15 Pro started at. And yeah, technically it's a starting price increase. Now, yes, you are getting the same amount of storage for the same amount of price, but by eliminating that 128 gigabyte configuration, let's face it, this is a price increase on the iPhone 16 Pro. So I really want to know how you feel about that because I feel like that's pretty much the only bad news I have regarding these latest leaks, but everything else is good news. And for me, really exciting news. But now let's move on to some good news, potentially. This isn't bad news, but it's good news potentially. And that is the camera on the iPhone 16 Pro and Pro Max. Apparently there's a rumor that we might be getting 8K video this year. And I love shooting on the iPhone. I think the video quality looks great. And 8K on an iPhone, especially with log footage, I think will look absolutely fantastic. Now, the reason why it may not be coming is because obviously the main camera sensor can already shoot 8K. It's a 48 megapixel sensor. Now we're getting a 48 megapixel ultra wide angle camera. So that will now be able to shoot 8K, but the telephoto lens is still a 12 megapixel sensor that cannot shoot 8K video. And apparently there's an internal debate inside Apple saying, well, should we, ship an 8K video recording feature that you can only use on the main camera and then the ultra wide angle camera. And then I guess if you were in that 8K video mode, you wouldn't be able to access the 5X lens. It does feel a little on Apple-like to include that video recording feature if you can't do it on every lens, especially when rumors are saying that the iPhone 17 Pro for next year will get an upgraded 48 megapixel telephoto lens. So maybe they'll save that 8K video footage feature for next year as a highlight. But here's to hoping that, Apple, just go for it, include like a special setting that you have to enable for 8K video, state that it only works on the main lens and then the ultra wide angle lens. The A18 is obviously powerful enough. I think you should do it. Why not give us more features? But again, it does feel Apple-like to kind of save that feature for when it's ready for every single camera lens. But there's more good news with the iPhone 16 Pro's camera system, and that is apparently that it's going to get higher frame rate. So Apple now maxes out at 4K at 60 frames per second. Well, now with this A18 chip, apparently we're going to get 4K at 120 frames per second. Now, you might be going, well, who needs more than 60 frames per second? Well, a good thing about 120 frames per second is that you can slow that footage down in post. And right now with slow motion iPhone footage, it's usually capped at like 1080p, and it looks just a little too soft for my liking. So if Apple's including 4K, 120 frames per second, you can get some really nice slow motion footage, and it should look super sharp and super crisp. And then another good thing about the iPhone 16 Pro's camera system is that the camera system is going to be exactly the same on both phones. So the iPhone 16 Pro, the 6.3-inch model, is going to get all of the same camera features as the Pro Max model, which did not happen last year. So it's going to have the same main camera sensor. It's going to have the same new 48 megapixel ultra wide angle camera sensor. And now it's even getting the 5X camera lens. So that is a big win for people who like the smaller iPhone 16 Pro. And then I think this is perhaps the most exciting rumor is that new capture button, which we've already talked about before, but now we're kind of hearing how this is going to work. And we've already heard that this capture button would be a capacitive button, meaning that it doesn't physically move. Now, you might have been wondering, Why is Apple making that a capacitive button? Wouldn't that be bad? If you're using a phone case, you'd have to have a cutout for it. You can't press it like a regular button. Well, apparently this is to help with the feature set of the capture button. And it sounds really cool because it's going to mimic exactly how a camera already works. So apparently it's going to be pressure sensitive. So let's say you just press slightly on that capture button, well, that means you're going to be able to adjust your focus, just like you can on a mirrorless camera. And then if you press harder on the capture button, then you can actually take your photo or video. So that is really cool how that works. And then we've already talked about how this might have a sliding gesture to zoom in and out. That seems to be confirmed with these latest leaks. And also that you might be able to change that functionality. So one of the leaks from Mark Gurman said that you could maybe map this instead of zoom controls to exposure controls if you wanted to quickly change the exposure on the iPhone 16 Pro. So I think that's really a neat feature. I really wasn't sure how to feel about this capture button, especially after getting the action button and already being able to map that to camera controls. But this sounds like a much more full-featured kind of way to use the camera, with having different presses mean different things and having these gestures. I think it's going to be a lot more useful than just mapping the camera to the action button. I think I'm going to use this quite a bit because it actually has better functionality than you can get than just using the regular buttons. And finally, we have a leak about the new color for the iPhone 16 Pro. Now, we've kind of already knew what that color is going to be. Rumors said it was going to be a desert titanium color, which basically translated into some kind of golden brownish color. And based on the renders I saw, I wasn't too impressed. I was going, I'm not really sure about this color. It kind of looks a little Zune brownish for my taste. But apparently Mark Gurman has seen what this color actually looks like, and he says it's going to be the standout color this year. He was really impressed. And Mark Gurman said that he has never bought a gold iPhone before. He was never tempted to buy one, but after seeing this color, he thinks that's the color he's going to get. He thinks it's the one that most people are going to get. And I don't know, as someone that was like looking at this color and going, okay. I don't know, like new iPhone colors, maybe you shouldn't get excited for it because it's just a color. Most people put it in a case, but I was kind of getting excited for it. I'm like, you know what? I've never owned a gold iPhone before. It's Dune season, Dune 2, great movie. Why not get the Dune iPhone? That's what I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna call it the Dune iPhone. It's not like the Dune popcorn, it's not like the Dune popcorn bucket. It's not like the Dune popcorn bucket. It's classier. All right, moving away from the iPhone, the next thing has to do with the Apple Watch. Now, before I read these final leaks, I was going, it seems like a pretty minor update. We're getting some design tweaks, but not, there's no new health features or any really standout features besides maybe the larger screens. Well, now we have final leaks that yes, the Apple Watch Series 10 is going to get larger screens. Apparently the sizing we reported earlier might have been incorrect. It might actually move up from 41 millimeters on the small end to 44 millimeters, which is still a pretty big increase. And then the 45 millimeter version, we said it was going to move up to 49 millimeters, be the same size as the Ultra. Well, apparently it's going to be a little smaller than the Ultra. It's going to be 48 millimeters, but still, these are going to be really large screens for the Apple Watch. But besides that, we already reported on the Apple Watch Series 10 will be getting thinner. Apparently these last minute leaks confirm that, and that the Series 10 will be much thinner than the current Series 9, as well as having these new larger displays. But then we're also getting rumors that, yes, there's going to be more features on the Series 10 than we thought. One of those is going to be improved water resistance, so it's going to be able to withstand high-speed water activity, whatever that means. But I think the bigger features has to do with health, and the last video I told you we may not be getting any new health features. Well, apparently that's changed. So apparently the Series 10 is going to have an improved electrocardiogram reader, so it's going to be more accurate, and we are going to get better heart rate sensors, which is also going to lead to an entirely new feature for sleep apnea detection. Now, the kind of mixed news with this sleep apnea detection is apparently is coming to the Apple Watch Series 10, but it's coming later in a software update. Like I told you about in the last video, Apple was having a lot of trouble with these last minute health features. And I even said in that video, maybe they would push that down to a software update and just show it off at the event. And that seems to be what is happening. All I know is I can't wait to be diagnosed with sleep apnea. I feel like I have it. I always wake up tired. I've never had a test. I think when I get my Series 10, I'm gonna go, oh, I guess I have sleep apnea. Or maybe I won't, and then I'll just wonder eternally, why am I always so tired? It can't be depression. Another thing to point out is that Mark Gurman said that for the first time ever at this event, we are getting all 3 Apple Watch models updated at the same time. So a new Apple Watch Series 10, a new Apple Watch Ultra, which is going to get all the same features I just mentioned about in the Series 10, but the design isn't changing at all, so it's a little less exciting there. And then possibly the most important watch getting updated is a new Apple Watch SE. If you watch the channel, you know I'm a big fan of that lower cost Apple Watch SE model. I think it's the one to get for most people. And apparently this year it's going to get even cheaper. And I think in a way a little more exciting because Apple apparently is changing the design from an aluminum body to a plastic body. Now I know plastic is regarded as a cheap material, but I think that's good for the SE because apparently, this will get Apple to bring down the pricing on this model to $200, where I think it needs to be. I think price point is very important for the Apple Watch SE. I don't think most consumers will care if it's made of plastic. In fact, the back of the SE is already made with plastic. So I think just getting that price down will be a big win. And then I think you could do like fun colors with a plastic Apple Watch, just like they did with the iPhone 5C. But then again, the iPhone 5C kind of failed. So it'll be interesting to see if consumers have an adverse reaction to the Apple Watch being made with plastic. And then finally, we have some last minute rumors on the AirPods 4. Now again, there's going to be 2 models. It seems confirmed that the higher end model of AirPods 4 is going to get noise cancellation, feature kind of a similar design to AirPods Pro. It's going to get a new USB-C charging case. It's going to have speakers in the charging case, just like the AirPods Pro. But then I think the more exciting version of AirPods is, these AirPods Lite, or what I'm calling them now, AirPods SE. If we're getting a new Apple Watch SE at this event, we're getting new AirPods SE at this event. And that's going to be a very low cost version of AirPods. Apparently the main thing about them is they're going to be very similar to AirPods 3, but they're going to come in at a $99 price point and have a USB-C charging case. But yeah, a $99 pair of AirPods I think is a clear win as well. Match that up with a $200 Apple Watch. I mean, come on, that is the year of the SE here. I think that's going to lead to some really great deals. But yeah, I don't know if you could tell, I'm excited now all of a sudden for this Apple event. I mean, it's Saturday as this is being released. And yeah, like 2 days away. Saturday, Sunday, Monday. 2 days away from this event. I'm excited. This is the last video you're going to see from me before that event, I think. Maybe. I think. Don't hold me to that. All right, so hopefully you liked this video. If you did, please give me a like. Let me know in the comments below, what are you excited for at this event? Or if you're not excited, just say something nice about me. That's always good. And I'll catch you all on Monday, right after the event. I'm so excited. I'll see you soon, real soon.